All right, so let's continue here with this third part of the series. Let's keep going. All right, let me go ahead and create a cube. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna show you what bevel does, right? Bevel is a very powerful tool. I don't find myself doing it very much, or using it very much, I'm sorry. Since I like to control where I put edges, if that makes sense. So bevel, it creates, let me go ahead. Nope, sorry. Whoa. It basically, it gives you the option to create those edges around your object. Of course, so when you smooth, like we did before, your object will remain its shape. So fraction is how big your edge is gonna be, or your bevel is gonna be. I've used bevel though in other times that makes sense to do it. For example, segments will give you more geometry in between the bevel, and then if you smooth it, it will keep its shape like we saw before. And to actually preview smooth without having to actually smooth it, you can preview it. So you can press your key number 3 and preview smooth, and to go back to regular view, you press number 1. So 3 to preview smooth, number 1 to get back to unsmooth view. So times that I've used it have been where I am modeling a cushion or a sofa cushion, like the bottom, because of course that's not a hard surface, a soft-ish surface. So depending on what kind of couch it is, that's how big the bevel is gonna be. If it's a leather couch, I might want those bevels to be a little tighter so that the highlight of the leather can be more pronounced. And also, if you notice, some some cushions have some sort of, I don't know how to call those things. They have their seam, and they have that area around it, kind of like where they sewed the cushion together. And so this is pretty cool. So it creates this rim around it. So the way you select the whole thing will be by going to select one face, press Control and Shift and hold, Control Shift Hold, and then double click the second face, and then you select the whole around the whole rim. Same here. And let's say we're doing a couch, or we're doing whatever, right? See, without changing the orientation, and changing the orientation, you just have to try it out. It's not perfect every time. You just have to try it out and make sure it's moving into the direction that you want it to move. Here it is, for me, moving in the direction that I want it to, because this is how it usually looks. But if you don't like that, you can change the direction, and maybe just more straightforward kind of situation, right? And then you wanna be able to do that yourself. So that's for what I would use. I use bevel. I know there's a lot of people that use bevel more for like metal things and then just go bevel. I like to have control of my geometry, so not geometry, but edges. So I don't use it as much unless I'm doing cushions, and that helps me out a lot. So that's bevel. Super useful. If this is something that you want to learn and use it. Experiment. One quick message I do want to say. This is a video for total beginners. people that don't have any experience on 3D. So I'm showing you what these options do. Also, keep in mind that just knowing this, that doesn't mean that you're gonna start making beautiful 3D art. You gotta practice a lot, and then you do have to have some sense of art, design, color theory, lighting. You do have to have those basics. If you don't have them, you might have a hard time starting. You might want to go to a community college or YouTube and get those fundamentals done. Okay, the tool doesn't make the artist. The tools that we use, the tools doesn't make the artist. We are artists. It doesn't matter what tool we use. The tools can be digital, can be physical tools, a brush, a pencil, a marker. It doesn't matter if you're an artist and if you know your craft. Picking up a tool is just that. It's picking up another tool. This is tech tool. Yeah, it's a software, and there's more things to it than other tools, but still it's the same. You gotta have those fundamentals done. If you don't, I'm not saying you won't be able to use Maya to create beautiful art, but you might have a hard time. Anyways, let's keep moving. Bevel. From here, Circleize is really nice. Let me go ahead and show you why. Let's just add. Let's not even mess with that. I'm just gonna add some edge loops here. I do use Circleize in some occasions, not always. So basically, as its name proposes, you can select a face and make a circle. Sorry, I was trying all these options because I usually honestly I access that going through press hold shift and going down to Circleize components. So that's it. But anyways, you're gonna see it and you say, oh, it didn't do anything. Just add divisions. Don't add too many. I usually keep it at 1, so I can add an edge loop here and an edge loop here. And I usually may or may not do supporting edges. I usually don't. Even in distributed, align automatically or vertex. You just play around when you're doing this. If you wanted to have a twist, what kind of twist you wanted to have, normal orientation of face, depending. And well, this is acting crazy right now, but basically this is ready offset, basically how big the circle is gonna be. Normal offset. So if you want it higher, I don't really do that kind of situation. I usually just, if it's a flat surface, if I need a circle, I do that. And then what I really do is I make it a little bit bigger. Like let's say that I need it to be just a bit bigger. Why do I do that? Because I'm thinking about supporting edges already. And I won't delete that, the face. I would put the supporting edges. And then I'll go here, 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 then here. See how I did that? Like I went around the whole thing. So how you do that? You place your tool. This time it will be the cut edge tool. Right, multi-cut tool. You place it on the edge that you want it, and then you press and hold Control, and it goes all around the thing. And then the only thing you have to do is connect those two. And if you want to fix the edge because it's not completely straight, you go to edge mode, you select the whole thing, you go to a scale tool, scale to the middle. Also, you can do this, multi-cut tool. You don't even have to do the first thing that I did, where I went from here to here. You can just go Control, click. That's it. And so essentially when you smooth it, it'll be a circle, right? Super helpful. If you need this to be a circle that has some sort of, has more design inside it, this is why I deleted it, because I wanted to start fresh, right? So you can extrude it in, extrude again, G, extrude again, G, we're gonna go inside, extrude again, G, let's go out, extrude again, G, let's go in, and then maybe this is where you finish and just say, since you already have the edge selected, you will go ahead and go to fill hole. Fill hole, and then you will go to multi-cut tool and just make sure you have quads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another tool, another really useful tip that I use sometimes. Let's say you're here and you want to get closer really quick. Select the face, play, and press F. It's frame. F is for frame, and it'll come. It'll get closer to that object or face or edge or vertex that you selected. Let's say you're working on this, blah blah blah, and you don't wanna just that effort of like Alt right click to zoom in is a lot, and you don't want to use your mouse wheel. You're working on this, you select that one, F, you're right there, easy. All right, so that's what Circleize will do. I use it quite a lot, not gonna lie. You gotta be careful though, because if you have an object that has a bunch of circles and like screw holes, or I don't know, can imagine a lot of or like a diffuser that has a lot of holes on it, you might want to consider other methods to do circles, and I'll demonstrate that in a video. Haven't done that technique in a while, so I have to go over it. Remember using deformers and all that, and I can probably do like a 5-minute video on it and show you. But yeah, Circleize, super useful. Let's see, what else do I use from this? Collapse, I don't use it. Connect, I don't use it. Detach, I do use that. We saw that, select the face, I'll select faces, I'll select a whole thing. Let's say you model this and your client or supervisor says, hey, we need this to be one piece, we're going to animate it shooting up in the sky. So you'll select the whole thing, you come here, space bar, edit mesh, detach. I'm thinking about another tool, and there you go, and it detaches this one object. So one became two. The other way you can do it, let's go back, make sure it's one piece. Another way it would be extract. Right. The difference is extract gives you the option to manipulate the piece that you're extracting right away, right? If you don't want to do that, you can just click on it, and then there you go. That's your tool. Remember, when you want to fix the orientation of the pivot point, right? You're gonna go to space, modified, center pivot, and it'll center to the new object. Really useful. So extract and detach do very similar things. Just that extract will give you options to actually manipulate the new piece. All right, let's see, what else do I use from here? Merge, we did that already. We saw that. It was extrude, merge to center. You would imagine that it's merged If you have something that is in the center of the grid, the center of the object, it'll merge there. I don't see myself using it a lot. Flip, I use that to what is intended, flip objects. There's gonna be times that you're gonna use it. There's gonna be times that you don't need to use it. Right now, because what am I gonna flip? It's basically the same everywhere. But yeah, if you need to flip something that works, I don't, like I said, don't use it myself, because I will use, if I want this to mirror one side to mirror the other side, I wouldn't flip it. I would just mirror it to make sure that I have an accurate image to the other side. So let's go ahead. Yeah, I mean, delete edges, you can do that. Remember, I told you can do that, but you always have to control delete to delete the edge and the vertex. Duplicate, of course, what it says it does, it duplicates something. Of course, like before, it gives you the option to manipulate. If you just want to move it to the side, you will want to change the orientation to move it to the side. Okay. Here, duplicate, extract, poke. I don't use poke, I don't use wedge. So connect, crease tool, I don't use that anymore. Insert tool. From here, I just use the insert edge loop and the multicut. Draw, quad draw. We'll go through this, but again, these are some sculpting tools that really, if you're a Maya user, you're not gonna use it. And let me think if we'll see this reversed on another. Well, I'll talk to you about it right now. So you see this object, right? Think about these objects' faces looking outwards. So that means it's like a t-shirt, right? When you put on a t-shirt, your logo has to look to the front, right? The tag is inside. So these faces are looking out. So that means they're looking to the right direction. If we were to make a hole here and look inside, this is inside. So these faces are looking in, or this is the inside of a t-shirt, right? If there's ever an object that looks like this, or part of an object, a part of a building, anything like that, if you see it, it looks like this. That means its face is looking the wrong way. That can create some problems, especially when you're texturing, right? So you want to make sure whatever you're texturing or whatever your main target is, that face is looking out, or is looking in the right direction. Let me see if I can display the faces. It's been some time since I actually did that, so bear with me if I have to pause the video so you can see the faces. Yeah, let me pass it really quick so I can find it. This doesn't become just 20 minutes of me trying to find something. Right, so I found it. So if you want to know if your faces are pointing out the right way, you go to display, polygons, face normals. See? Like I say, if you want to flip the whole thing, reverse. Now you know that your normals or your faces are inside out. Okay. Yeah, that's how you do it. Perfect. Let's see if there's anything else to go through here. Make hole, we did that. Offset edge, don't use that. Display, we did that. Yeah, so another thing really important before I finish this video, to remember some rules of modeling. When you model, please make sure that you're naming cube, test your models. It'll be easier for you to keep everything in order, especially if you work on big scenes. Then if you're working and changing the shape of an item a lot of times, make sure you deleting your history by going to edit, delete all by type history. That'll take care of that. Just makes it much cleaner. Also, if you're grouping things, make sure you're grouping for a reason. Okay. And hierarchy grouped as well. What I mean by that, well, make something quick here. So if this item is the base and this is attached to the base, right? But of course we're not attaching it because maybe this is gonna be rotating and it's gonna be animating on its own, right? You wanna select this bottom piece first, then the top first, and then Control G to group it. Of course you name your group, test GRP. I usually at the end I like to do uppercase letters, so it's a good lens if it's left or right as a group. So how do I do that? It's because if you select that and you press the up arrow, you can select the whole group, right? Doesn't happen. It happens the other way around too. But then if you get used to just selecting the base, you knowing that you gotta select press the arrow up to select the whole group, you do it. And yeah, the group, maybe something's animated. Keep your history clean, and if you are done modeling something, you clean your history, you name it. One good thing to get used to it is to go to modified, space, modified. Remember to always change the pivot to the center of the object, and then you're gonna freeze transformation. Freeze transformation means that this is going to be this object new location. It's not going to be in the middle anymore of the grid. It's gonna be here, right? I just moved it, modify, freeze transform. Why? Because if I move it and I go 0, it'll go back to its new origin point. So very powerful to remember that. Next video we're gonna start our project. It's gonna be a prop. I don't know what kind of prop, but I have something in mind what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna also create a story. There's no meaning to create things if they don't have a story behind it. It's part of storytelling, it's part of being an artist. So stay tuned, subscribe, ring the notification bell, like, comment please. If you missed something, let me know. I don't script these videos, I just sit down and I start talking my knowledge. And next week we're gonna learn how to set up a project, and how to start a project, and how to look for references, and we're gonna start modeling, maybe box modeling or plane modeling. So we'll do that. And of course, we're gonna go through different tools next week as well, because as much as I was able to give you an overview of some of these tools, of course, working on projects, I'm gonna use other tools. I'm gonna remember something. I'm gonna remember this is what this does, and this is another tip that I give you. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. I recommend this video to anybody that is a beginner and doesn't know if this is what they want to do. This might be helpful. And yeah, again, thank you for giving me your time. Take care. Bye.